Hey everybody, Steve here with Cryptic Woodworks. I thought I'd throw in a quick extra video on the linkage hinge boxes in case anybody's making these and they wound up with a little bit of a problem. So I have on one of my new boxes, I put the linkage hinges on the box, and it turns out that my lid is set ever so slightly back further than I'd like. And it's not dead even across the front. Now this is just a tiny little bit of a difference here, and hopefully that's about all you're dealing with when you make these. So there's two things we're going to do. The difference on this corner, it's close enough that I'm not real worried about it, but on this corner it's a little further off. So what I'm going to do is take this linkage off, and I'm just going to open up this hole by a little tiny bit forward, so that this way the top can move forward just a little bit. Like I said, this is so minor up here, we don't have to move it very much. And one other thing that I do is when I get ready to finish the boxes, I'll come and put a very slight chamfer on the top and bottom. So what that does is that if your top and bottom are a little bit off, it becomes very hard to ever tell, and it just gives the box a nice little look of separation between the top and bottom. So they're two great things to do. So I'll take this off and then head over to the drill press. Alright, so over here at the drill press, what I want to do is widen this hole just a little bit towards the front. So I'll just do that with the same size bit. I'm drilling at 1/8 of an inch here, so I'm just going to open this hole a little tiny bit. And there we go. We can see it's just a little bit wider. I kind of came in from both sides. These thin bits can have a tendency to deflect a little bit. And then I just used a little up and down to make sure I got that nice and even on there. So now we'll put it back on the box and see how it looks. Okay, so we have our linkages back on. And everything still opens and closes nicely. Now I'm still not super dead on as much as I might like to be. However, what I did was I went and I just started putting this slight chamfer on just by doing a little bit of light hand sanding on it. And this tends to make the problem pretty hard to see. So you might still be able to feel it a little bit, but you can probably get rid of the ability to see most of that, which is really what we're going for. Since the way these linkages do work, it is always possible that the top could shift a little bit over time, since they're not tend to locked in quite as hard as they are with a rear mounted hinge. But overall, you can get it pretty darn close, if not dead on accurate. And if you are a little bit off, there's some easy ways to go ahead and take care of that so it's not very visible at all. So I hope that helps. Bye. Alright, one last thing I should have mentioned, and I'll make sure I cut this into the video by the time you see it. To clean up this edge, if you're a little bit off anywhere, is just come in with your trusty sander, or if you happen to have a nice flat belt sander, you could use that too, and just work it along that edge until you get them evened up. That's a simple way to go ahead and correct very small issues. Just make sure that when you're doing it, you don't go so far that you start exposing the other side of the miter, because that won't look as good. So just be careful. If you have a lot of overhang, you might need to fix that at the arm level, but if it's just a little tiny bit here and you want to get rid of that, you can just come in and sand this flat and it'll never be seen.